Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lucore Automotive. As you can see above me, the 1979 AMC AMX. Beautiful choice piece of American machinery. And it is getting ready to go on the Hot Rod Powertour. Today is going to be a Hot Rod Powertour preparation video, because I've got to get this car ready to go. I've done almost nothing to it since it went on the Hot Rod Powertour last year in August. So it's time to do a little bit of modification. And we're also going to start working on the Pontiac, because the Pontiac is going too. That's right, we're taking both the AMX and the 1970 Pontiac LeMans. So, if you guys are interested, want to see what I did on this beautiful machine here, and what we're going to do with the Pontiac, which is a lot more work. Stay tuned. We'll make it as entertaining as possible. For those of you who don't know this project, let me catch you up real quick. 1979 AMC Spirit AMX. It's the very last of the V8 rear-wheel drive stick shift AMCs. So it has a 304 AMC under the hood. Now this is actually the original 304 that was under the hood of this car. It has been fully rebuilt. So it is original block, original heads, but it has been fully rebuilt. It's about 9-to-1 compression. It's a 60 over build. Very similar to the Power Nation video if you watch those guys, except for we didn't spend $15,000 to build a $4,000 motor. It makes 170 horsepower. It's on a Brawler 650 mechanical secondary carburetor, an Edelbrock intake manifold, but the main reason it's only making 170 horsepower is this right here. This exhaust setup. So it does have factory exhaust on this as far as the Y pipe goes. So it comes down from the passenger side, goes around, and then intersects here on the driver's side, and then joins back up and goes back. Now obviously from here backwards is stuff that we've done, but we maintained the factory Y pipe. It does have the factory exhaust manifolds on it. At least it does right now. That's part of what I'm going to be doing right now, is going to be pulling off the factory Y pipe, pulling off the factory exhaust, pulling off the factory exhaust manifolds that are choking down this high performance AMC 304, because we have new stuff to go on here in the pursuit of 200 wheel horsepower. Right now we're at 170. I want to see 200 at the wheel. In order to get there, we have a brand new set of Hedman headers. Purchased these. These are not sponsored. Hedman headers, which my guys from my AMC pit crew that saved me in the Power Tour last year recommended these. And then I also have a Pipes XVA 10 X pipe that will work with it as well. And then we're probably going to put like a set of thrush mufflers or something on the back. This is a 3-inch collector that's on this, 2.5-inch in the X pipe, and then we'll run it out the back with a set of thrush mufflers. So step one, get all this exhaust off this car and start getting the new stuff fitted. So here we go. I am actually going to do some real work around here for all of you people who wonder, what in the heck is it that Austin does? Well, I'm going to work today. So Derek just reminded me as he's over here that we are not a body shop. We don't pretend to be a body shop, but sometimes we have to do body things. The stance of this car is actually pretty bad. And by bad, I mean awesome. You can see the poke on those front tires. I mean, like, dude, so much poke. It is running a set of Anson Sprint wheels, D-window wheels, very, very cool, but they're completely the wrong offset. These are 225s, which is a decent sized tire. It's bigger than what the normal one would be, but it's not that big of a tire. It's got 235s in the rear, 270 or 225s in the front, but these are 14 by 8s in the front and 14 by 10s in the rear, and the offset is completely wrong. Like, there's 2 inches of space here between the back of this and the caliper. So instead of sitting in and sitting where it's supposed to, it sits out. It looks awesome, but it doesn't clear parts of my fender, specifically this little section right here. So I'm going to remove that. Yeah, I'm just going to remove it. That should work. Ooh. You almost broke your wiener there.
I did.
So what you're currently seeing is Rich undoing in Austin. When I took this car apart 2 years ago, I think, or so at this point, there were only 2 bolts that I broke on the entire car, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, they were a sway bar mount bolt on this side and a sway bar mount bolt on that side, both of which I snapped off almost flush with the enclosed frame rail in the front. So we are trying to extricate said bolts. As you can see here, the front one on this side is fine, but that one, yeah, not so much. And same thing on this side. That one's broken, that one's good. So we could actually put a front sway bar in this car, which is one of the cool features of these Spirit AMXs and the Spirit GTs, I believe, as well, is they have these enormous factory front sway bars. This car's been running the entire time with no front sway bar. So I will have a considerably better handling capability with a front sway bar on this car, so that's what we're trying to do now. So, Rich, help! All right, well, we are waiting on some exhaust parts to get moving on the exhaust on the AMX. So it's actually outside at the moment, as you can see. Took it for a drive after we got the huge new front sway bar put on this thing. Factory front sway bar, by the way, which is basically the size of like a GM A-body upgraded sway bar. Handles fantastic. Way tighter than it was before without a front sway bar on it. Go figure, huh? Anyway, while we're waiting on the exhaust stuff that we can finish off fabricating exhaust for this car and getting the upgrades done, I went ahead and started painting the floors. The reason we're painting the floors are they're covered in rust. So I have now painted them rust colored, you know, which you do. Rich has also started to fabricate me a little bit of an exhaust or a trans-tunnel plate there so that we can keep as much heat out as possible. And just so we're all on the up and up here, yes, those are holes in the floor. That's the ground you see out there. And there's still an enormous one on the passenger side. We really haven't done much of any work to this car since Hot Rod Powertour last August. See, there's another big hole there. That's the ground. But the idea is to keep as much heat out of the car as possible, because last year when we did this, leaving St. Louis, headed to Champaign, it was 116 degrees in the cabin where fat guys with beards sit, which is not good, and I don't need to have heat stroke. So this year, we actually connected with our friends at DEI, who sent us some of this stuff. Heat shielding stuff. So we're gonna be able to keep ourselves from melting, which is gonna be, you know, clutch. So Thanks, DEI. We appreciate it. I'm going to put this on the floorboard of that car, especially because a lot of the floorboard's missing. And then we're also going to put some on the Pontiac as well to be able to keep both cars cool. So letting that paint set so we can actually put this to paint instead of to just raw, rusty, shitty metal. And hopefully that's going to bind a little bit better. So letting that paint set, we'll move forward. Still lots to do. Lots to do, lots to do, lots to do. And we're leaving way too soon. Way too soon. Let that cure. Moving forward. On number 2, the 1970 Pontiac LeMans has a whole bunch of things that it needs, and unfortunately they're also very labor intensive. Again, this car is not particularly cool. Now it does actually have an entire roof, so it has a leg up on the AMX, but it also creates an immense amount of heat, and as you can see, it doesn't have any carpeting or anything at all keeping heat out from under, you know. There's the road. Doesn't have anything protecting us. So fortunately the guys from DEI got us enough heat shielding to be able to do the floor of this car as well as the AMX. They also have us some spark plug boots that I'm going to put on, and more importantly than any of that, header wrap, because this has long tube headers which sweep way back and underneath your feet, so you essentially have an oven underneath your feet, which sucks. The nice thing is I already needed to take these headers off anyway, because unfortunately when we had it at the dyno a little while back on the last pole, come on baby, wake up. I don't know if you could hear it on camera or not, but there's a tick sound. Comes from over there. Blew out the rear of the exhaust manifold gasket to the header, so I need to pull the headers off anyway in order to replace that gasket. So we'll kill two birds with one stone. Pull the headers off, wrap the headers, put new gaskets on, put it back together again. By the way, there's no choke on this car, so yeah. So let me get this thing in the shop, get it up on the alignment rack, get this thing torn apart. Fixing 2 cars at one time with no time to spare. Can you hear that? Tick, tick, tick. Alright, let's get these headers pulled off this thing. It does sound good though, doesn't it? For those who are interested, there's a pipe violator exhaust and float tech long tube headers, which we're going to take off right now. Well, to make matters worse, can you see the blister? Good thing I caught that before I left. Don't want to be in the middle of nowhere and have a tire blow out. Time to go get some tires. I need a tire sponsorship. Cooper, pay attention. Start giving me tires. Yeah, the rest of those are good, so time to go get 2 new front tires for this guy. Welcome to hot rodding. Alright, 4/16, Thursday. As you can see, wheels and tires are off Pontiac. Replacing both fronts and rebalancing the rears to get them all as roadworthy as possible. It does suck doing this. Huge thank you to Derek over here, being my helpy helperton, balancing wheels and tires, at least as best you can. Badly bent wheels.
This is wobbly wheels can balance.
Gonna balance that. We'll deal with wheels and tires later. Maybe I'll get more YouTube views and be able to buy some wheels for this car. Anyway, yeah, maybe crisis averted as far as the tires go. We have one bad, one good. I'm gonna throw the extra one in the trunk so I at least have a spare tire in case we have a problem at some point in time. Annoying thing is these two cars don't share the same size tires. These are 15s, those are 14s on the AMX. So if I have a problem with the AMC, I'm in deep trouble. But we're not gonna have a problem with the AMC. Yeah, I gotta get the exhaust pulled off this car so I can pull the headers off, replace the gaskets, and get the headers wrapped. In order to do that, I gotta pull the motor mouth loose, jack the motor up. Yeah, more working, less talking. It's all right. It's not like this car's leaving at like 10:30 in the morning tomorrow or anything. All right, collectors are loose from the rest of the exhaust. I'm gonna put this thing on jack stand so I can drop this down, because in order to pull these out, I need to loosen the motor mounts and then start knocking out those header bolts. I've also got to take off the oil filter housing adapter so that I can snake these headers back and out, and then wrap them. The gaskets back on and put them back up in there. And only another like, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours worth of work. No big deal. When you don't bolt things together, and they're not held together by bolts, they don't stay together. You see one this and there, and I've got that one, and we got that one, but that one, just trust me, that one's also missing. Hey, at least I don't have to remove all those bolts. There you go. There's the other one that's missing. So this bolt right here, if you could see that, is the one that everybody hates about Pontiacs, because it sits underneath that tube, so you can't get a socket on it, you can't really get a wrench on it, and you can only move it a little bit at a time. The rest of these are pretty easy. That one, one's supposed to be there, and then two back there. Sit rep. Have most of the bolts off. Unfortunately, I have to pull off the driver's side oil filter housing unit, which has 3 bolts on it, 2 of which I have removed, 1 of which is driving me insane, so I'm going to keep working on that. Then I can get the headers off this thing, and then I can start working on those. A friend of mine that you will soon see a lot more about, this is Jimmy. He's going to be the guy piloting said Pontiac on the entirety of this 2,500 mile journey.
I mean, I might let you pick up a couple miles just to...
I don't know if you could see the difference here in height. Jim is slightly taller than I am. The AMX has a fixed seating position. His head is through the windshield, the roof. So we'll probably do that at least for giggles, at least once.
Yes.
So Jim has stopped by and is going to help out a little bit on the project this evening, specifically on getting some of this heat shielding done. We have a couple of different things from our dudes at DEI, and we got the little sheets as well as the big sheets. So we're thinking big sheet goes in the floor of the Pontiac? Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah, thinking big sheet in the Pontiac, ultimately help try and keep things a little cool down there. I try not to be moody, but sometimes I do get a little hot. So hoping to be able to get both the driver and passenger footwell, because just to make things more complicated, I'm also taking this car to Louisville, Kentucky first, and I'm bringing my wife.
Sorry, Beth. Preemptive sorry. You're not going to enjoy this drive. But I think there's enough material here.
I think so too. Honestly, I think we'll have enough to do the AMX as well, which will be nice for you.
Yeah, at
And,
least the driver's side would be really nice.
Carrie, if you're watching, I know that you know exactly what it's like riding in that with
Yes.
how hot that thing gets.
Yeah, sorry about that, Carrie. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on bolts. We're gonna put Jim in the car and let him start working on getting the floor armored up, so we've got the shielding on there, and yeah. You're a former car audio installer guy, so it's kind of like hush mat, boom mat.
Hush mat, boom mat, dynamat, whatever you call it. This I just gotta shake out the cobwebs
and stretch out because you're a lot older now.
Yeah, I gotta get limber.
All right, back to work. We'll keep you posted. Oil filter adapter housing is loose, so now headers are totally loose. However, I now have to get the motor mount bolts loose, which are right here. So one here, one there, and then we jack up on the nose of the motor, pitch this thing up just a little bit, take the tension off the bolts, pull the bolts off, take the motor up just a skosh, enough to be able to drop the headers out and around. Yeah, we're almost done taking things apart. It's already like 7 o'clock. Time to get transmission jack, take pressure off of bolt, pull bolts out. Transmission jack. Sorry, Katrina, that I'm not at home. Spending time with you. Busy doing car stuff still. Sorry.
Best I hear you calling, but I can't come home right now.
I'm busy doing hot rod stuff in the garage.
It's me and my boys doing hot rod shit.
Come on! Come out the hole! Alright, Richard. What was your super duper secret to getting this? Doing this with the engine in the car. Aha! Bolt! Now we're getting somewhere. Dang it! Oh, 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 oh. Gangnam Style. Alrighty. Engine mount bolts are out. So, we should now be able to, according to Richard, jack this up enough to be able to snake these headers out of here. I'll get back to you on that. Well, we've made at least a little progress.
Hey!
It's better than none. It is better than none. Ow! Need to move pretzel. Ah! I'll be back. If I were a smart man, I would refer back to the video footage that I have of Rich putting these things in here and just do what I see him do, but do it backwards.
You know, that would be an intelligent thing to do.
Twould. Twould be intelligent. Twould. What if we pulled the starter off of here? I feel like if I pull the starter, that makes this a little easier. Ow! Pull the starter. So the answer is yeah, starter bolts. And there's my nice flat flange. These are Flowtech exhaust headers. They're actually pretty dang good headers. Very happy with the quality of the headers. Very, very happy with them. But I need to clean them up a little bit so we can wrap them. That's one side. Almost done taking it apart. Oh, let's look and see if we had any. Let's look at our gasket, shall we? Well, I would say having a bolt missing in the middle might have done a little bit of damage to the center of that. Good news is we have a whole new set. So, pitch those. Oh.
Good year.
Yeah. Oh no! Oh. Yes! Success! I got the bolt!
Yay!
Oh. Can't feel my arms, but I got the bolt. Alright, now these suckers should come out of here. Alright, work this guy around. The oil filter housing unit. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go. And they're out! I have done a thing. Ooh. Yeah, you can definitely see where the exhaust has been blowing past this thing. Alright. And where did my gasket go? Here we go. And yeah, looking at the gasket, actually the front's pretty good. Everything that had a bolt in it was fine. And you get back here in the back and you can actually see where it's all, see that? See where it's all blown through? There's no material left, there's just the metal centerpiece. So there she be. And that's how the cookie crumbles. So, time to wrap these headers, or clean the headers and then wrap the headers. And then put this thing all back together again. How you doing up there, Jimmy?
We are looking pretty good, eh?
How you doing?
We're wrapped pretty well.
Here, take the camera.
Oh, hey, all right.
There you go.
Cool. So, as you can see, we have some floor covering. Just use one of these little strips here on the transmission tunnel. I know it's not pretty. Don't revoke my MECP status that's been expired for many, many years. But we are at least nice up against the firewall, and we're down here in the driver's side footwell. This was an interesting install for me, as I've done it from entirely inside the car. I do not recommend that. I do recommend also having a vacuum and some things to clean the floor with, as we had motor oil and loose bolts, and these are some of the things I pulled from the floor.
Hey, don't judge me. Don't you judge me.
So that being said, it does work. It is functional. The cool part is being adhesive. As it gets hot, the adhesive is going to bond even better.
It will adhesive more?
It will adhere.
Adhese?
It will adhese. Yes. So yeah. But that's the progress. Time will tell and see how we did.
Woo! Okay, it's 7:45. Headers are out. Gave them a bath and brake clean. We're gonna go outside and see what we can do as far as the floors on the AMX go. We've got 4 sheets, 5 sheets?
Quattro.
4 sheets. So 4 sheets of the smaller stuff. And hopefully my rust paint has cured. Yes, it has. And we can do some stuff. Isn't it pretty?
That is fancy schmancy.
You do have to drive this at some point in time.
Oh, I will. Oh, I will.
With your head out the ceiling.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, I'd say pull off that shifter piece.
Okay.
And then we'll put all that stuff on there and then put the shifter piece down on it. If there's enough to get there, maybe not. Maybe not even, it might not even matter.
I will reenact this now. Let's see what we've got here. Nope. That's not happening. All right. Take 2.
How to insert yourself in AMX.
All right. So, what we're looking to do here is we do have a pre-cut hole. So I'm gonna try and get that around the shifter.
Look at that. Well done, Jimmy. Professional installation. Semi-professional installation. So we got footwell, we got trans tunnel. We're gonna leave the passenger side alone. A, because I don't have any more material. 2, because the exhaust is all over on this side. That side has a single pipe that comes over to white pipe here that runs underneath me, so much more important to keep this side and me cool. But yeah, I think we're in good shape. So as you can see, the sun is starting to set. Gonna wrap up the workday for the moment. We've got to get the headers wrapped, get fire extinguishers mounted in each car because that just makes sense. Get oil in the Pontiac, get the oil out of this, get oil back in this. Last minute stuff. And then yeah, maybe if I'm really lucky, we try to get the exhaust done on this car. If not, it is what it is. I'm not real worried about it. It would be great to have it done, but in the grand scheme of things, oh, we gotta put stickers on cars.
Stickers, yeah.
Gotta put stickers.
Stickers equal horsepower.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, see you guys in the morning. All right, so it is the following morning. As you can see, I have my headers here. I did delouse these with some brake clean, so they are reasonably clean. I got all the oil and stuff off them that I possibly could. I'm sure there's still gonna be some residual. It is what it is. We are in the office area here, and I'm going to be doing my header wrapping. I have the titanium type stuff from DEI here, and I'm going to start wrapping these guys. This is a long and very annoying process. Essentially, you want to kind of figure out what your plan is. You know, in this case, they're long tubes, obviously, so you know, you've got ones that are like this run is all by itself, this run is mostly all by itself, then these ones kind of go together. So we'll probably wrap this piece by itself, we'll wrap this piece by itself, we'll wrap these two together, and then all of it together down at the bottom. It is a pain, to be honest. The nice thing is this stuff, the titanium type, is much easier to work with. It's a much more supple product than the normal stuff that you'd use that's like a fiberglass type stuff. This is much easier to work on. You don't have to get it wet. It's much more bendable. It's actually a better product. It handles a lot of heat a lot better. In this case, it's not a turbocharged or supercharged or nitrous car. So this is maybe a little bit of overkill, but it's a better product. And it's easier to work with, which is, in my book, I'm willing to spend more money on something that's easier to work with than something that's going to be more of a pain in the neck. So, yeah, wish me luck. I'll check back with me in a little bit. You want to overlap these wraps about 1/4 inch, which isn't a big deal, but if you overlap them too much, you'll end up actually trapping too much heat in this header, which is not a good thing. So you want to just wrap about a 1/4 of an inch overlap, overlap, overlap. The tricky part is keeping tension on this as you're wrapping it, especially going around bends. It can get a little difficult. These are ceramic coated headers, so it's a little even more difficult because they're very slippery to keep tension on the wrap as I'm going. But it's a process. You just keep on going. All right, so there's our first tube. Start with kind of a doubled over piece there, and you just kind of wrap it all the way up. Now, obviously, I've got some stragglers here. I'll cut those off. But what you do have to worry about is the fraying here, and that can be kind of a pain in the neck. But this pipe does butt up against the other pipe here, so I'm going to join those two up at some point in time here in just a minute. But I need to cut this off, finish this, and then hit it with a stainless steel tie to hold it all in place, and then keep on going. All right, well, there we go. She's not the best, she's not the prettiest, but she'll work. I ended up with that much extra, which probably is about that much, but that's okay. As you also saw from the nightmares that it is to do the Pontiac header bolts, this one is the trickiest one of all of them, where you put the bolt through and then you slide the header on. You have almost no room anywhere you look at it to get a wrench on the head of this bolt, so I don't really want to put much header wrap in there. We just did one little tiny coil, and we're going to hope that that's good enough, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to tighten that bolt down. So, one more set. That only took about an hour. Whew. That was no fun. But it is a lot better than doing the wet the piece of fiberglass and wrap it on here. So here we go. Again, don't judge me. I am not a professional header wrapper. I'm also on a time crunch. So that nifty little tool they send you to tighten these things down is actually kind of nice. It's a little slotted piece that's basically like a 1/4 inch drive socket that you just put on here and cinch it down. So that's all nice and neat. I'm going to cut these off so we don't have too many extra dangly little bits. Oh, and then toss them on the car. It is 11:30 on Friday. This car needs to leave in about an hour. That's not going to happen. But we're at least we're moving forward. Keep working. Keep. So, last bolts on the headers, motor mount bolts, the oil filter housing unit's already back on, starter's back on. Interesting thing that I hadn't thought about with the header wrap, be careful of the stray strands at all, especially when you're right next to the oil filter. So, if you get stray strands on your oil filter, it's probably not going to seal real well. So, note to self. Yeah, so we're getting there. And we'll put the wheels on, put oil in it. Ran out to A1 this morning to see Mark and get myself a belly full of Schaefer's. He also gave me some new Wix filters, so you see that one on there. And then I got one also for the AMC, and I've got a little bit of spare oil for the road trip, just in case, because we are putting 2,500 miles or so on these cars, 22, 2,500, depending on how side trips go. So I've got a little bit of spare oil as well. We're going to be running the stiff stuff. We're running 2050 Schaefer's high zinc oil on this trip, because it is going to be really, really hot. So we're going to use the best oil we possibly can for this. So anyway, a few more things to button up, and then we can set her back down and see where she is. All right, last step. Put some oil in it.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
She's all back together.
Running the 2050 Schaefer flavor, as I said. We're not sponsored by Schaefer's, but I'm going to go ahead and position my thumb so you can see the name of the bottle. Product placement, there you go. Hey Schaefer's, we're interested. We're interested. Well, moment of truth. Hey Derek, can you make sure that I don't puke oil all over the ground? Don't laugh, I've done that before. That's a good sign. I think we've done a thing. Doing that first initial cook on our new header wrap. A little smoky, but she's running again. No more header leaks. No choke, so she's really not happy about running when she's cold. But she's done, ready to rock and roll. Whew. Yeah.
Cruising at 70 miles an hour. New tires, nicely balanced. Good job, Derek. Well done. It is considerably less ridiculously hot in here. It's still hot. Don't get me wrong. It's still hot, but it's not like I'm gonna fry an egg on your leg. Kind of hot. Between the header wrap and this floor covering. Now I do still have a gigantic hole in my firewall that I never did fix. Whoever decided to in the past spin the intake around and suck cold air out of this, they cut a hole in the firewall. So there is a little bit of a hot air that comes off the engine that way, but otherwise the ambient heat out from underneath is considerably better. No more exhaust tick. Oil pressure looks good. Coolant temps are good. I ran it for a little while and let it sit. It doesn't go above 190, and it usually creep up to about 195, 200. It doesn't go above 190 now. I added a little bit of their secret juice for the radiator, and yeah, seems good. So I'm gonna go put some fuel in this thing. Jim is on his way to come pick this up, and then we're gonna get back on the AMX. So, test drive's going well. Welcome to a summer day here in Central Ohio. It's always worth it. Once you get to go drive them, it's always worth it. Now, an astute observer will astutely observe the wet pipe that we started this conversation about with removing and putting on headers and all that stuff. It didn't get done. We two reasons. One, it would require us to do some carb tuning because it's going to breathe a lot better with headers on it than it is through this extremely restrictive exhaust. And two, and this is in no particular order, we flat ran out of time. As is typical with, you know, pretty much everything when it comes to automotive. We underestimated the time and scale of work to be done and barely got done with what we needed to get done. So doing the headers was going to have to wait for when we get back, which is fine. You know, it's not like I'm going to hammer on this thing too much on this crazy ass journey anyway, but we'll get the headers done when we get back, because I've basically, as soon as I get back from this power tour, I got to go to Great AMC Days, which is down at Edgewater Park in Cincinnati. So we'll get the headers and exhaust done for that, because I think I'm going to take this thing down the track at Edgewater. So yeah, oil change, last thing to do on the AMX.
I guess we're ready to hit the road. Fluids are all good. Test drive's done. Rides a lot better. No more ticky sounds. Whole lot quieter, actually. Considerably cooler on the inside. AMX is basically ready to rock and roll as well. We replaced a belt on that. I do have an extra belt that's in the car as well, because we have a little bit of a squeaky out of my power steering pulley. But it's fine. It'll be good. Got a cooler in the back with some waters, and then probably throw some things in here tomorrow before I hit the road. But Jim and his wife are actually over there, are heading to Louisville tonight, and they're taking Sandy all the way to Louisville tonight, which they're going to enjoy because it's hot and humid and doesn't have air conditioning, and he's putting his wife in this. We'll see if he's still married when they get back. Yeah, so there you go, guys. All of the prep is complete. It's kind of scary to say that, but yeah, all the prep is complete. Oh, nope. All the prep is not complete. We have one more thing to do. Last thing to do. As seen on YouTube stickers. We'll put those on the cars. That way everybody knows when we're running down the highway that we're not just idiots. We're YouTube idiots. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys are going to enjoy the trip with us. We're going to try to do daily videos like we did last year. Everybody seemed to enjoy that. So I'll do my very best to get those out the morning after. And you guys can come along with us on this crazy journey in 2022. So thanks for being here. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Cheer us on. Tell us how stupid we are. Whatever. We appreciate you guys. We wouldn't be able to do this kind of stuff if it wasn't for you guys helping to support us and helping us to do this kind of stuff. So we'll see you maybe in Louisville. If not, we'll see you in Memphis. Take care.